What's cooking? Welcome to Just You Me Authentically African channel, YouTube channel. Today we'll be cooking the Ofada Jollof Rice, and we'll be using the creamy white version of the Ofada. Perhaps a lot of people do not even know. I was in the same boat, did not realize that there are two different color types of the Ofada rice. One is the very brown one that a lot of people use today, and it's this one, whole grain brown jollof rice. Whole grain brown Ofada rice. And the other one is the creamy white. I call it creamy white because it's in between brown and light cream and white. So I call it creamy white. When you cook it, it's much more wider than the brown one. So, but when you're looking at it in the bag, or even the pre-washed one, this is already pre-washed and ready for cooking, you will think that the color, you will know that the color is different. To start off the cooking, I will cut up my peppers and onions, and then I will add a little bit of oil and grill it because I need to get the water out of the pepper, so that I don't have to boil the pepper for such a long time, to drain the water out. So you can either do it in your saucepan, or you can put it under your under the grill portion of your oven, and that's what I'll be doing. Okay, so we're back on cooking, and now I'm going to make some goat meat because I need the broth to cook the jollof rice. The goat meat flavor, the broth is always very good. I don't really use the beef broth, but the goat meat broth is really and it gives it an aroma that is completely jollof rice signature. So my goat meat already cut up in pieces, seasoned with chopped onions, thyme, some oregano, and some Himalayan salt. So I'm gonna give it some time to cook, almost probably close to about 20 to 30 minutes to finish cooking, and then I'm gonna grill the goat meat afterwards, but strain the broth to use it to start cooking the jollof rice. The grilled pepper is ready, grinded, and I'm about to fry it to give it the Niger frying taste. So I'm going to be adding salt, some Himalayan salts, pink salts into it, and also I will be adding the bouillon cubes. I have thyme and oregano here. I will be adding that to it as well. Remember, I'm making 5 cups of Ofada rice, and it's going to be Ofada rice swallows a lot, so it's going to be a lot, so I need as much pepper as possible. And I'm using this is not curry, but this is turmeric. Curry is actually made from turmeric, so I tend to go for the main, which is the turmeric, which is it has a lot of health benefits that I love. And then I'm adding some bay leaves into it. So I'm gonna let it cook medium heat for like about 15 to 20 minutes. And once it's fully in the fried stage, then we're ready to cook the jollof rice. The oil that I'm using today, that I always use for everything that I'm cooking, is the grapeseed oil. You can also use the avocado oil. Some people use olive oil, but I prefer the grapeseed oil or the avocado oil. Okay. So the pepper is fully ready, the fried pepper, with all the different spices, and it's ready for the jollof rice. Now, before I add this to the rice, the first thing I usually do with my rice is to add a little bit of oil, and I'll be using the grapeseed oil. Add a little bit of oil, kind of like about 2 tablespoons in a saucepan. And when that is there, I will now start to pan fry the rice. Remember, this is a pre-washed rice, Ofada rice. I already washed it. So I won't add any ingredient to the rice. I just have to start pan frying it. Now there's a reason behind this. Almost about 30 years ago, one of my favorite aunts, I went to visit her one time, and I saw her, after washing the rice with her in the kitchen, she started to fry the rice, and I was so curious. I wanted to know the reason why she was frying the rice. And she said, number one, it's for so that the rice, when you're cooking it, even if it's fried rice or if it's jollof rice, so that when you're cooking it, it doesn't stick together. Yes, some of the rice that does stick together. I don't parboil any of my rice. I prefer to wash them thoroughly before cooking them. So, and she said, I remember very vividly, she said, and once it's pan frying, when you raise up your spoon and it drops back into the saucepan or the pot, that shows you that the rice is fully coated. Not too much oil should be added. At this stage, if you want, you can add your seasoning, but we already added everything to the pepper, so I'm not going to be adding any more seasoning into this. So whatever seasoning went into cooking the sauce, it will be used to it will flavor the rice directly itself. So I'm just going to do this for another 2 minutes until all the rice is fully coated, and then I'll pour in the sauce, and then we'll start to cook the jollof rice. Some people like to cover their jollof rice in the pot with foil. I'm a little bit skeptical about the aluminum foil, so I don't use that. I can use parchment paper because you can use parchment paper to cook in the oven, so I can use it to cover it, or I can just use any lid that is airtight. The lid that I'll be using is pretty airtight for this one, so I don't really have to worry too much about that. Some people also, once they finish cooking their jollof rice, or towards the end of it, they will take the jollof rice and put it in an oven type of a container that you can put in the oven, and then you'll leave it in the oven to finish the cooking. I don't do that. I don't condone all those. There's so many different ways that you can you can cook your rice, as long as it's tasty. That's all that really matters anyway. Okay, so you can hear the sound. It's not burning. The oil is just coating the rice, so that when you start to add the stock from the goat that I cooked earlier, when you start to add the stock, when you add the sauce, the rice will continue to absorb it. Now, don't add too much water. I noticed one thing about Ofada, which makes me fall in love with it so much. You can keep adding water. The grains of rice keep swelling up. They're not mushy, and at the same time, they don't stick together, which makes it so unique. So now we're back. The rice has finished pan frying. I poured the sauce that I've fried. I'm just gonna stir it into the rice and coat it very well, and then I'll add the goat broth from the cooked goat meat that I made earlier. Just ensure before you pour the broth into it that the pepper is that the rice is fully coated with the red pepper. Remember, for the red pepper we used tatase, which is a red bell pepper. I used also chili peppers, a few of them, scotch bonnet, red scotch bonnet, some onions and tomatoes. And then I also use shepherd's peppers, the long ones. So typically you can use one or two, or you can combine as much as you want. So now that the rice is fully coated in the pepper sauce, I will be adding the broth, the goat broth, and then I'm going to cover it to steam on medium heat. Again, I'm cooking 5 cups of creamy white Ofada rice, making it into jollof rice. So I'm going to cook covered. The lid I'll be using does not have any vent, so it will be fully covered. Some people use foil and then they will cover it with the lid, or I prefer to use a parchment paper, but today I'll just be covering it up, you know. So now the rice is almost done, but I checked, it's still a little bit hard, so I'm just going to add just half a cup of water and let it steam. See, it's if you take a look, it's burning, but I'm not going to mix the burnt part. Jollof rice is, that's what gives it the smoky flavor, the burnt part of the jollof rice. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of hot water to it, and then cover it up again and let it keep it in a slow heat, medium heat. And let it finish cooking finally. Then I'm going to add a little bit of a stick of butter just to keep it moist. Not margarine. Butter is way much better than margarine. So now the rice is fully ready, it's fully cooked. I just put a stick of butter and just going to cover it up, and it's fully ready. You can see that the rice is not sticky, it's very loose, and of course Ofada rice, the grains are much bigger than the regular parboiled rice or even the basmati rice that I love to cook with. So it is very, very possible to cook Ofada rice as jollof rice. It tastes pretty much the same, the look is pretty much the same, the smell is totally insignificant at this time. And just to share with you that the butter I use is the salted butter, it's not margarine. This is much better. It keeps the rice moist. And again, I don't add or slice onions or tomatoes on my cooked jollof rice. I don't do that because you know, if it's not properly cooked, I mean the onions or the tomatoes, the rice will not really last that long, even in the fridge. This is the Ofada rice plated. Doesn't it look amazing? It looks amazing. The rice itself is loose. It's not mushy. See? It's very loose and very nice. Just to share a little bit of some of the ingredients that I used. I used the grapeseed oil. You can get it anywhere. Most at grocery stores, they sell it. It's one of the best oil that has no trans fat, no saturated fats, and I've been using it for years. Next to it, I use the Himalayan pink salt. This brand is Kirkland by Costco. You can also get it anywhere. Most stores or health food stores, they sell it as well. Now, for the curry, like I said before, I prefer to use the ground turmeric. Curry is actually an extract from turmeric. So turmeric is very, very good. Most people find it beneficial for health. So you can try it as well. Curry is equally good also, but I like the real deal. For my tomatoes, instead of using fresh tomatoes, I use this crushed ground strained tomatoes. They are very, very good. You can also get this at any store. Most stores carry it. So thank you so much for watching. Like us, subscribe to my channel, and also visit us online at www.josiomi.com to buy from our different African products. We sell spices, we sell Ofada rice, we sell palm oil, farm fresh palm oil. This is the rice that I just cooked. It's our Ofada creamy white rice, all grain, 100% natural. There's no stone and no dirt. You just have to wash, you wash rice regularly to be able to have a clean rice to use, to cook with. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.